Soy Camilo Andrés Triana Cubillos, director del Concurso Internacional de Caricatura Noticartún Colombia.
Hola, mi nombre Juan Camilo Lopera, en el mundo de la caricatura, Júcalo, subdirector del Concurso Internacional de Caricatura Noticartún Colombia. En esta última fase,
Los invitamos a que en esta sexta edición puedan disfrutar de las charlas realizadas en nuestro festival en línea de caricatura, basado en unos Facebook Live que están subidos en nuestro fanpage y también aquí en nuestro canal de YouTube.
En esta última fase de entrevistas queremos invitarlos a que nos acompañen con un extraordinario artista, jurado en la edición 2019 con el tema Juegos Olímpicos y homenaje al gran caricaturista colombiano Ismael Roldán, el señor Jason Seiler. Así que no se pierdan la entrevista con él y los vemos pronto.
Everybody, so I'm going to answer some questions, and hopefully I give you some good answers. We'll see. So the first question is, who is Jason Seiler? That's something I've been trying to figure out for a long time. I am an illustrator. I basically specialize in caricature and realistic portrait paintings. I do a lot of work for magazine publications, magazine covers, book covers, movie posters, some character design here and there. Basically, anything that sounds interesting, I like to try to do it. I'm a husband and father. I've got 4 daughters, 2 teenagers, and 2 daughters under the age of 3. I teach online art classes for schoolism.com, 2 different classes. I've been teaching there since 2006. I host an art podcast. Every single week, I talk with really awesome artists from all over the world, and I interview them, chat with them, just talk about their art, their life, and that sort of thing. It's called Face the Truth. You can find it on my YouTube channel. You can find Face the Truth on iTunes and Spotify and all that stuff as well. I also do stand-up comedy when there's not a quarantine. I go to different clubs and I make jokes, and hopefully people laugh and have a good time. So question number 2, how is it for you being part of the jury in a contest dedicated to Ishmael Roldan? It was really cool. I'm still, to be honest, I'm still very sad about Ishmael. He was a good friend of mine. And he meant a lot to me. He really he took me under his wing when I was younger, and he didn't have to do that, but he did, and I'll always be grateful to him for that. He was an artist that I really looked up to and really admired, and so it's still something that's very sad for me. So for me to be a part of this was just an honor, because I wanted to be able to honor him as well, and I'm so happy that people are still remembering him and thinking about him. I think he's an important artist in the caricature world. Definitely important for me. I learned a lot from his work. I miss him a lot. Question number 3, besides working with Ishmael, did you have any other cartooning references from Colombia? You know what? I am sure that I do. I know a lot of artists from all over the world, but to be honest, I am not sure where everybody is from. But I'm pretty sure I have friends from Colombia, and artist friends, but I'm not. I'm not sure. Yeah, and you know what? To be honest, I'm not really into the cartooning world as much. I love cartoons and cartooning. I used to do it a lot when I was younger, but I'm not as familiar with who's a cartoonist and that sort of a thing as I am when it comes to caricature or illustration or fine art. Number 4, did you know about the Cartoon and Graphic Humor Contest worldwide? I did not. I did not know about this until I was asked to be a part of it. Number 5, what do you think about the graphic humor category in our contest? I think it's great. Yeah. I thought the work that was submitted was really cool. There were some that were really funny. My personal favorite work is work that's very smart, well thought out, like a nice, like comedy, like a good setup, and then a good delivery, a good punchline. And there was a few that were really good and that made me laugh. And I also think it's really important that the drawing is executed in a very strong way. So, number 6, as media can be a good platform to show political cartoons, what room is there in your country for promoting caricatures at a professional level? Wait a minute. Not sure if I read that right. I think I understand the question. I think, if I'm being honest, that caricature in the United States isn't. I think there's more restrictions, to be honest, because I see people in other countries doing more exaggeration. I've seen that, from a lot of my friends that are in Europe. I think the United States is in a weird place right now. Caricatures are the least of the problems. So it's really, we got way more problems than caricature. But I do know that I've done caricature for cover of Time magazine before. I've done lots of different caricature work. And I find that they always want to be very, very careful, very subtle, because we don't want to offend anybody. So I don't look at caricature in that way as being offensive. I think a lot of people do, but that's because I think they're just ignorant of the art form. They don't understand it. So I hope that more will come from that as we continue going forward. Number 7, understanding digital tools as another artwork technique. Are you more comfortable working with them or rather using traditional mediums? I'm comfortable with using traditional and digital. I started off painting traditionally. I work in oils and acrylics. I work in gouache. I work with watercolor, pen and ink. I feel very comfortable with all those mediums. The only reason I don't use them all the time is because most of my deadlines are insane. They're very, very quick. And so I find that painting digitally helps me to be able to work much faster. So that's why I prefer to work digitally. But I like them both. Excuse me. When I paint digitally, I paint very similar to how I would paint if I was painting traditionally. I do like underpaintings a lot of times. I do a lot of similar type brushwork and similar painting palettes and that kind of a thing. So I don't really think of it as that much different, except digital is quicker. I think it's a little bit easier to paint digitally, but it still can take many, many hours to finish a piece, even if it's digital. It's just a matter of preference for the particular job that you might be working on. That's the difference. Also, working digitally, there's no cleanup afterwards, so that's pretty nice. Number 8, could you briefly describe your work process to us? Not briefly, I can't. I'll try to be brief. My work process would basically be, I get a call or an email from an art director. They give me the idea of what they want me to do, whether it's a cover or a spot illustration. And I start first by looking for references online. I'll take photos of myself, pose my wife, my kids, my friends, whoever works best for what I'm trying to do. I set up lighting maybe and try to get cool shadows and things that are interesting if I have the time. And then I start sketching, and I try to sketch quickly. I don't. It depends on the job. If it's a new client, I'll take more time and do a more detailed sketch. If it's someone that's familiar with my work, I will work as quickly as possible to get the sketch approved, the idea approved, because usually I don't have very much time and I need to spend as much time as possible on the painting part. So once I get to the painting part, we're all good, and I just paint it till it's finished. And then I'll send it to the client. And sometimes there's some changes, like maybe they want to change a little bit of the expression, or there could be a couple different things that they might request. So if that's the case, I rework it a little bit, and then send it back to them. I mean, that's basically it. I mean, obviously from job to job, things are different. And you don't know all the time. Certain things can happen that you weren't expected, but you just kind of go with the flow and take it as it comes, But that's basically the way it works with every job. Number 9, why do you apply hyperrealism in your caricatures instead of a cartoony style? Because that's my style. I enjoy painting. I'm a fan of caricature type work that is exaggerated enough that I don't prefer to exaggerate to an extreme level, but I want to exaggerate as much as I can to capture the character and to serve the purpose of what I'm trying to get across within my work. And I'm also a fan of strong structure and anatomy, so that not only am I trying to capture the character and the personality, but I'm also trying to capture their form. And I do that, and I feel that the best way to do that is by really capturing the light, understanding values, soft edges, and color harmony, all these different things. I'm a realist at heart. And to me, it's just natural to draw and paint that way. I do like cartoony work. I think cartoon work is great. It's just, I've done that. I did that for years. I did cartoons most of my life. And I just no longer personally, have the desire to do that kind of work. It doesn't mean that I don't like it. It just means that I'm onto a different path with my work. But I do enjoy good cartoon work, good comic work. I really love pen and ink and watercolor and things like that. But the hyperrealism that I add to my work I don't really think of it as I'm trying to be hyperrealistic. I'm just trying to accurately paint what I see. So you might look at it and think that it's very hyper realistic, but to me, I'm just painting. And when you paint the correct value next to the correct value and so on and so forth, it'll tend to look realistic. I actually feel like the more I paint, the more I loosen up. I like to be painterly and expressive with my brushwork. I like to suggest the detail more than actually get in there and detail it. Like I just want a little bit here and there, enough to make you believe what I want you to believe. Because to me, it's more exciting. I like to see the paint move around, you know. Number 10, besides Ishmael, which other cartoonists do you admire from your country or anywhere else? Well, I suppose you're asking about which caricature artists that I like. But man, I like a lot of artists. I'll just name a bunch of artists that I really admire. I would say John Singer Sargent, Zorn, Rembrandt, Van Gogh, Monet, Jenny Saville, Richard Schmidt, Scott Burdick, my dad, Larry Seiler, Jeffrey Hine, Sean Cheatham, Sean Barber, Grigor Aftimov, Robin Eli, Coro, Justin Coro Kaufman, Aaliyah Chapin, let's see who else, David Kassan, Cesar Santos, Nicholas Uribe. He's one of my favorite painters right now. I love his work so much. He's brilliant. As far as caricature goes, I really, of course, who doesn't love Sebastian Kruger? I love Sebastian's work. I love his caricature work and his fine art paintings. Gottfried is great. I think Thierry Coquelet, Yano Tabik, my good friend Thomas Fluharty, Bobby Chu, Steven Silver. There's so many. Fred Harper, C.F. Payne, Roberto Parada, Steve Brodner. I could keep going on and on and on. Dale Stefanos, Volter Tulp, Herman Mejia, Norman Mingo, Jack Davis. So many. So many amazing artists from Mad Magazine. Tom Richmond. Why am I blanking on his name? Mad Magazine. Why am I blanking on his name? Mort Drucker. I love Mort Drucker. Norman Rockwell, of course. J.C. Leyendecker. There's a lot of artists out there that are just, I think, are amazing. I don't know. There's so many. I can't think, but there's a lot of artists that I think are just brilliant artists, and I like them for different reasons. Beautiful brushwork, or it could be beautiful brushwork to color, to exaggeration, to flow, perspective, anatomy, likeness. I don't know. There's just so many artists out there, so I don't really have like one or two. I really respect a lot of different artists out there. So, and you asked, can I send a greeting to our events? So I will try. It says, let's see. I would like to greet the Noticartún Colombia contest, comic with Fronteras Guerra, Comic Without Borders. I don't know if I said that right, but hey, I want to say hi to everybody. I don't speak Spanish. I obviously don't read it very well. Lo siento. But anyways, I would love to be able to visit one day. That would be awesome. And happy painting, everybody. Happy drawing. And it's been a pleasure talking with you. And I hope you have a great day.